A super counterfeit money production line has just been established by a criminal organization. What could possibly go wrong? This organization openly challenges the police to investigate their activities. A bold move indeed. The gang's focus is on a young girl, Soo-hen. But why her? Soo-hen has a crazy obsession with wealth, driving her actions to extremes. She and her accomplices continuously release fake money into the market, and chaos is about to ensue. After producing a batch of money, Soo-hen and her group begin to distribute it. The stakes are high. That day, Soo-hen had a cross-border transaction with a Chinese businessman. Will she get away with it? The Chinese merchant was very satisfied after examining the money carefully, but can he trust it? As Soo-hen heads to exchange money, the police begin to follow her, and the tension thickens. Realizing she's in danger, Soo-hen immediately tries to escape. Will she make it? In a desperate escape, Soo-hen finds herself saved by a mysterious foreign man while fleeing, but their luck runs out as the police close in on them. In a frantic move, the man breaks a fire extinguisher to blind the officers, allowing them to escape into a hotel. They quickly rented a room to hide their clothes. But Soo-hen's suspicions linger. She unexpectedly took off his mask right in front of her. As she confronts him, he uncovers his true identity as a native Korean. They ask the receptionist to coordinate the investigation. Suddenly, the police arrive, intensifying the pressure on both of them. He and Soo-hyun pretended to be a couple. To distract the police, they pretend to be a couple, creating a moment of false intimacy. This person suddenly recited Soo-hyun's full name, address, and past. As they eat, the man reveals he knows her full name and illegal activities, leaving her stunned. He revealed that he had been following Soo-hyun for 2 weeks. He admits to following her to assess her qualifications for a potential partnership. He also knows that Soo-hyun is the specialist of the legendary counterfeit money master, Taroist Jang. The two of you are not related by blood, but you are considered by Soo-hyun as a relative. Soo-hyun's step into making fake money was also to help Taroist Jang pay off his huge debt. The man advised Soo-hyun that if she accidentally got involved in crime, she should embark on a big mission with him. After that, she could wash her hands of her sword and withdraw from this path. Soo-hyun was finally convinced. At that time, she went home and told Taroist Jang about this mission, but he flatly refused because this case was really too big. Before that, when she sold her designs abroad, he was already worried. Now he just finishes his current failed mission and will retire from the industry. He wanted to be reborn and start over again. However, Taroist Jang is in debt because he used the profits to invest in renting fishing boats. But his health is poor, he needs surgery. Soo-hyun could not sit still and watch him suffer such a miserable illness. The two people's conversation was heard by her younger sister. Even though she was very sad, she still tried to be optimistic and invited both families to eat noodles. Her younger sister Jang Zeon is a computer expert. She studies diligently every night. The girl's goal is to infiltrate the US Department of Defense server. But Soo-hyun doesn't like her sister pursuing this career. She always threatened to break the phone if I continued to learn these things. Soo-hyun couldn't sleep that night because she kept wondering about the man's proposal. The next day while jogging to exercise, a man chased her and gave her a letter. Inside was an invitation from the fake man. He suggested that if she wanted to know their plan, she would meet him this afternoon to pay off the debt and collect money for medical treatment. Soo-hyun had no choice but to bet on her future. She agreed to cooperate with that man. She went home to convince us again, but he was determined not to accept it. At that moment, the man himself came to the house. He brought with him a large sum of money as capital to start the plan. Master Soo-hyun was determined. Taroist Jang also agreed. Thanks to the guidance of Soo-hyun and Taroist Jang, the man was taken to a secret counterfeit money printing factory, where he detailed his plan. First, Soo-hyun and Taroist Jang would print 300,000 fake US $100 bills. Then Soo-hyun disguised herself as an employee, and she mixed in and exchanged money in the casino. Every day, I will exchange $40,000. In just a short time, this fake money will be completely washed away. Taroist Jang could not help but admire the man's calculating mind and inquired about his true identity. A group member named Kang Sun-hee, an expert in manufacturing printers, stood up and introduced the man as his boss. Everyone just called him Jiri. The plan was set. The action immediately began. Soo-hyun and Taroist Jang started designing the counterfeit money. Between the two people's purely emotional hands, stacks of fake money were quickly created. Next, Soo-hyun disguised herself as an employee, swindling money in the casino, while Jiri pretended to be a card player. They coordinated perfectly inside and out. In just 3 short years, $30 million in fake money was laundered into real money. Because the case was a great success, Jiri invited Soo-hyun to eat hangover soup. Soo-hyun realized that Jiri seemed to have something to say to her. She also had a premonition that after this time, Jiri would most likely disappear without a trace. Jiri admitted that. But he revealed that he would return soon, and Soo-hyun seemed sad about the breakup. The male friend living together and accompanying her made her develop feelings for Jiri. Under the beautiful and sad sunset, Jiri sat down next to Soo-hyun. He gently caressed her face, then he leaned closer to give her a kiss. Soo-hyun was immersed in that moment. When she opened her eyes, she discovered that Jiri had given her a shoelace. This is his farewell gift. It seems that Jiri also touched Soo-hyun. He offered Soo-hyun to leave here with him, but Soo-hyun chose to refuse because she wanted to live with her family. Ji didn't force him. He just asked if they had ever met somewhere. That question made Soo-hyun feel strange, because during the 3 years of knowing each other, this was not the first time Ji asked like that. Ji just smiled at Kwon. He reminded Soo-hyun that the life of a fire digger is all lies, so you should never trust anyone too much, including yourself. Having finished speaking, Ji disappeared without leaving a trace. That night on the way home, Soo-hyun received a phone call from Taroist Jung, explained by Mr. Jun. He told the police that they had discovered him. He said they asked for a sum of money to let it go. After hearing this, Soo-hyun immediately knew that they were fire escapees. There were no police who were blackmailing him, because he was worried that something would happen to his uncle. She immediately drove home, while the police received a report from someone. This person discovered that Soo-hyun printed fake money and laundered it through the casino. They drove there, but when they tracked down the address, it was just by the port. As soon as Soo-hyun arrived, the house suddenly exploded. Soo-hyun immediately rushed into the sea of fire. She brought Jang Zian out safely. Then she turned back to look for Uncle Jang. In the thick smoke of shoes, Soo-hyun saw a familiar figure wearing a gas mask. He was none other than Jiri, but this time Jiri directly pushed Soo-hyun away. He left alone. He didn't look back. Soo-hyun didn't have time to think. She went deep into the fire to find Uncle Jang, but he was seriously injured by the explosion and passed away on the spot. Soo-hyun was heartbroken and burst into tears. She tried to get Uncle Jang out of there, but because the fire was getting bigger, she had no other choice, so she had to leave him behind and leave. As soon as she went out, the police immediately arrested her. On the opposite side, Ji Langla stood looking at Soo-hyun from afar. He did not say a word. At the same time, another group of people arrived at Taroist Jang's money printing workshop. They took away $30 million that had just been laundered. The leader of that group was none other than Captain Jang of the criminal investigation team. Not long after, Soo-hyun was interrogated. The person in charge of the case was the father police officer of the financial crime investigation team. He clearly understood that Soo-hyun and others were printing fake money and fake money. He questioned who took that $30 million. Soo-hyun honestly confessed that Jiri was the one who caused everything. She believes that Jiri's purpose is to destroy evidence and then monopolize all the money. Soo-hyun's voice was full of regret and indignation. She vowed to personally end the crime to avenge Uncle Jang. Hearing his name, the police officer was extremely surprised. In fact, he was a top criminal. He has been targeted by the FBI and the International Criminal Police Organization for many years. Only then did Soo-hyun know that he turned out to be a notorious criminal in the underworld. 5 years later in Seoul, a man was running away in panic when he was hit by a car. Ignoring the pain, he continued to run into an alley, thinking he had escaped danger. He was about to smoke a cigarette when he was suddenly shot through the arm. Before he could stop being surprised, he was hit 2 more times, and the one who took action was none other than Jiri. After angrily taking the man's life, he stuffed a bill into his mouth and left when Jiri was still a child. He confided to his sister that his future dream is to become a fire digger and make a lot of money. While the younger sister thinks it's a bad thing, being a firecracker isn't about stealing money. It's so I can live a fake life like it's real. Back to the present. The police stopped by the restaurant temporarily to get something to eat, but because he parked in the middle of the street, he was immediately given a ticket. He ran to scold the police if they knew who he was. Then he took out his police card to prove his identity. After being approved, he gave the policeman a box of potatoes, which he considered a thank you. On the way, he was eating and listening to music when he received a new report. A bar waiter received a bill. Then an anonymous person contacted the National Intelligence Service, who confirmed that it was fake money. Hearing about fake money, he was extremely surprised, while the victim who was murdered was discovered by the police. The person in charge of this case is Police Officer Zhang. During the investigation, he discovered that the victim had a $100 bill stuffed in her mouth. The police went to the pub to check the money that was accused of being fake. He carefully observed that bill, but no matter how he looked, he couldn't tell the difference between real and fake. When he left, he suddenly saw the news. Korean police have found the body of a man who was shot. 2 weeks later, the police brought the bill to the specialized department for examination. After inspection, experts were also surprised. This banknote not only passed money scanners, infrared tests, and chemical tests, but also had a very sophisticated indentation technique on the paper surface. Experts concluded that this is a counterfeit banknote with extremely high accuracy. It is considered a perfect copy. There was a time when this type of counterfeit money caused serious chaos for banks and the US government. Then, the expert took out another fake $100 bill to compare. He said the bill originated from a gun case 2 weeks ago, in which an angry man took his life in a small alley. When the body was discovered, the police saw that the victim's mouth was still clutching a fake $100 bill. Experts said that the counterfeit bill found in the shooting only lacked the concave printing technique. The rest of the anti-counterfeit features were complete. In other words, the counterfeit bill that appeared at the bar and the banknote discovered in the murder case were both of the same super counterfeit type. They have extremely high sophistication. In addition, the expert also revealed that the person who requested the appraisal was team leader Zhang. Hearing this, the police father suspected that there was something shady about this, so he returned to the police department to investigate. He discovered that team leader Zhang had also been to the bar. That night, a gangster came to the bar to relieve stress. However, this is not an ordinary pub. Inside is a complex of gambling and martial arts matches. The reason why Zhang Ho is able to run this pub is because he has someone backing him, and that person is none other than Captain Zhang. And the name Zhang Ho is the right hand of Captain Zhang, named Eon-ji. At that moment, Captain Zhang called over. He asked Eon-ji to bring a beautiful young girl. He then asked Eon-ji to bring what he needed. Eon-ji opened the cabinet door and went down to a basement. Unexpectedly, there was a place where sweeteners were made. After successfully retrieving the goods, Eon-ji let team leader Zhang and the girl experience using it a little, and it immediately took effect. Captain Zhang sobbed and the group sank into that feeling. Meanwhile, the National Intelligence Service held a meeting. They analyzed the counterfeit bill case. Police mentioned that $30 million in counterfeit money appeared at the casino 5 years ago. The counterfeit money at that time was identical to the one found in the shooting. From there, the police suspected that the counterfeit money at Nam Shua Casino and the recently re-exported super counterfeit money both had the same origin. I guess they come from the same suspect. He checked the surveillance cameras in the pub. He discovered that the person who gave the fake money that day was a man, based on the results of an investigation from 5 years ago. The police believe that this man is Zay, the person behind the entire counterfeit money case. He believes that GI must have found a way to possess a top-secret indentation printing machine, and now he is bringing more sophisticated counterfeit superbills back into the country, urgently handing them over to the police in charge of investigating this super counterfeit money case. Meanwhile, Su Hyun dreamed of GI coming out of the fire. This startled her from her sleep. At that moment, she received a phone call to meet. The police searched for Su Hyun's anti-crime police team, because the victim in the shooting was a sweetener dealer. From the police, the father learned about the gang schedule on the day he died. Previously, the police conducted eavesdropping. They discovered that Han did not know where to get a new generation batch of goods. Han is preparing to launch it on the market recently. The police eavesdropped and knew that someone was planning to invest $50 billion in the goods in the hands of this gang. That mysterious investor is Jiri. After listening to the police, the father became even more certain that Jiri wanted to invest in sweeteners to clean the fake fairies, according to the police. On the day of the transaction, the second plans to meet the intermediary behind the namesake. This middleman plans to offer $25 billion as a deposit for the shipment. At that time, the police force secretly closely monitored the transaction. But on the day of the signing, the meeting suddenly changed the meeting location. This caused the police to lose track. Right after that, the case of the same guy being shot by the same guy happened. The police also revealed to the father police that the first meeting place between the dealer and the middleman was a port. Hearing that, the police officer was extremely surprised, because Taroist Zhang's money printing forest that exploded 5 years ago was also located right at this port. He immediately judged that place was most likely Jiri's hidden grave. The police officer quickly contacted his colleagues. He asked to arrange forces and then led people into the scene. The money printing forest near the port was still just a pile of rubble like 5 years ago. Once inside, the police discovered that there were clear traces of human activity in the basement. But the person there seemed to have received the news early. He promptly fled, not being able to catch him. The police officer was extremely upset. When he left, he was even scolded by his colleague. The colleague said that based on the traces alone, they deduced that they had made super counterfeit money in the warehouse. It's ridiculous for him to criticize your level of reasoning like this. The police investigated very bitterly but could only get in the car and leave. At the same time, Soo Hyun appeared near the port area waiting for someone. Unexpectedly, suddenly a container fell straight down from above. Luckily, Soo Hyun dodged in time. That night, a drunk man was walking when suddenly someone approached him. He admitted that he was his acquaintance. Before the man could understand what was happening, he was silenced by the stranger. He called his accomplices to bring the man into the car. Soo Hyun took the initiative to meet the police officer. He was extremely surprised to see people involved in the counterfeit money case, from Siv to Soo Hyun, reappear one after another. Soo Hyun firmly told the police that the person who left a fake $100 bill on the robber after he was murdered was definitely Jiri. She said the person behind the container drop who wanted to take her life to silence her was also the same guy. Soo Hyun begged her father to protect her, in exchange for revealing secrets related to the super counterfeit money. But Soo Hyun still doesn't know that the person who stole $30 million from the money printing factory 5 years ago was not Jiri, and that person was team leader Jang. He joined the crowd and arrested a man who was Jiri's junior. They took him to an underground clinic where the doctor removed his eyeball and implanted a system into it. At that moment, the wire appeared again. He announced that the super fake money game had officially started now. 4 months ago, Soo Hyun, after successfully trading virtual currency, went to the dealer to exchange money. Here, she learned from the owner that her sister was also trading virtual currency 6 months ago. Unable to accept her sister's involvement in breaking the law, Soo Hyun angrily went to her sister to ask her guilt. The outspoken younger sister admitted that she was planning revenge on her father's behalf. She had been planning this for a long time. At that time, her father was set up by someone else and lost his life. She asked someone to summarize the incident. 8 years ago, she sold fake money on the mainland. He appeared following her. That's why she wants to repeat the plan that Soo Hyun did 8 years ago. She wants to release fake money into the market to make that Fire Island guy appear. Soo Hyun judged her sister as being very immature. She said Jiri was extremely cunning. He absolutely will not take the bait for a little money. Jang Zion was frustrated when Soo Hyun came up with a solution. She said this time she needed her sister's computer skills. Speaking of forte, Jang Zion is very humorous. Not long after, they found a partner named Fixer. He is an immoral person. He possesses an advantage that no one can replace. That is, he has worked with Jiri for 10 years and he is the person who knows Jiri best. Fixer revealed that he had given up his sword a long time ago. He no longer does these old-fashioned crime missions. He is now moving to a more advanced segment, helping super oil people launder money with Bitcoin. The target of their defense is the Jang police. He is one of Fixer's customers. Fixer doesn't understand why they want to mess with its name. Soo Hyun had to reveal that in the past, police and Jang had set up a trap. That caused her father to die. He also paid $30 million. So according to the plan, Soo Hyun wanted to get back the $30 million in police officer Jang's pocket first. This was too easy for Jang Zian. She immediately showed off her computer skills. She directly hacked into the server that stored Captain Jang's personal assets. Jang Zian was a bit lacking in confidence at first, but she was just pretending. In fact, she successfully stole $30 billion from team leader Jang's Bitcoin account. Fixer had to admire her abilities, but was not overly happy. Jang Zian announced that she had destroyed all that money. Zay then called Fixer, his tone as if he had been waiting for this call for a long time. Fixer's acting is very immersive. He said he missed him very much and wanted to hear the big brother's voice. Zay certainly took the bait. He asked Fixer to immediately fly to Macau to meet him. The plan was successful. Fixer signaled Soo Hyun. He announced that he would now go to Macau at Zay's request. This Fixer just arrived at Macau and went to the casino to show off his gambling skills. Because of his limited talent, Fixer quickly lost all his money. At that moment, Jiri appeared. He gave Fixer some money, but as soon as Fixer looked, he realized that this was fake money. Jiri did not deny it but began to criticize. He mentioned that the customer asset management server was recently hacked. The attacker only took money from exactly one person, but Fixer's business philosophy is that whoever pays more money will work for that person. Fixer felt worried. He wondered why Jiri suddenly mentioned this. Jiri immediately offered 10 times the price. He asked Fixer to reveal the mastermind behind it. Money blinds the eyes. Fixer quickly betrays. He shakes hands with Jiri in a new agreement. Not long after, Jiri and Fixer returned to Korea. On the way to the real play, Fixer called Soo-hyun to chat. He praised her plan for being very effective. Jiri took the bait and still wants to go to Korea. At the same time in Korea, Captain Jang was leisurely enjoying a life-and-death fighting session in his underground casino. The fighters here are all his debtors. He said whoever wins the battle will get a reduction in driving, and the harder they fight, the more principal will be deducted. This sick game that tramples on human dignity is Captain Jang's daily hobby. At that moment, distinguished guest Jiri appeared. Team leader Jang bluntly turned over the cards. He questioned why Jiri dared to touch his money. He said that 30 billion soldiers was the entire fortune that he risked his life to earn. But Jiri was still very calm. He sarcastically said that the money was not enough for him to hire a girl to scratch his itch. Jiri's arrogant attitude made team leader Jang extremely angry. He ordered the beautiful martial artist Jiri. If this name is completed, the debt will be cleared. Delicious termites are stupid in the beginning and don't do it. He walked over and gave Jiri a kiss. Captain Jang was itching to ask for shoes again. He wanted to review the feeling of being on the same level as a scumbag. Shoes advised team leader Jang to be too attached to his thoughts. He should keep a little more integrity. This condescending attitude makes the vice captain angry. He walked over and patted his shoulder a few times, but the shoe only coldly pulled out a file. Inside is a business plan that can earn back 30 billion. It can even earn more than that. Jiri proposed to team leader Jang that the profits would be divided 60-40. He took 4 parts. Team leader Jang got 6 parts. At the same time, he pledged to fully repay both the corner and the deficit of 30 billion troops. The two sit and negotiate but still don't know a thing. The Fixer is recording this entire conversation for Soo-hyun and her sisters to enjoy. After listening to the entire content, Soo-hyun went to Captain Choi and she told the whole story. Soo-hyun said Jiri had successfully lured Team Captain Jang back into the game, and the next step is to find the technical key character. When team leader Choi wanted to know what purpose she used that virtual money for, Soo-hyun quickly used the excuse of being tired to fight back. Captain Choi had to comply. He ordered his subordinates to prepare troops to raid the underground casino that Soo-hyun mentioned. On the way, the subordinates investigated the place Soo-hyun said. It was actually an underground arena. This place operates twice a week. It has been open for 5 years. The daily bet amount is up to hundreds of millions. After the captain told him to listen, he was so excited that he immediately ordered the large-scale investigation team to go there. At the same time, the competition was very bustling. There were a lot of people coming to watch and place bets. Some guys who played with toys until they ran out of money were thrown out. In a fit of ecstasy, this gypsy fantasized that the girl on the poster was approaching him, but the girls ran away. This caused everyone to chase after him, while at the same time Captain Jang's right-hand man was driving and relaxing. He received news that the police had arrived, so he quickly called his accomplices, but at this time they were both in high spirits chasing after the 2 long legs. Unexpectedly, the 2 of them invaded the surveillance room. The 2 long-legged girls raised their middle fingers to criticize him for being too chicken. This action made him angry. He pulled out a weapon and attacked the person inside. At this time, the Incheon area investigation team also deployed troops. They wanted to gain control of the situation so that the class could lick Captain Jang before the intelligence department took action. The police startled and asked everyone to sit down, but these people were not afraid to touch, so they often fought with the police. Meanwhile, the deputy team leader hurriedly returned, and he discovered that his boss's lover had been murdered, and team leader Jang was being controlled by a drug addict. The deputy team leader tried to buy time. He coordinated with team leader Jang to teach that guy a lesson. Eating is not enough. Captain Jang opened the door and pulled out a gun. He teased the other person for a while and then forgave him. Because the crime had already happened, team leader Jang lamented that this was a headache again. Because the investigation team had already come to disperse the casino, when people from the intelligence department arrived, the scene had already become desolate. The captain immediately noticed something unusual when he asked questions. The local criminal police appeared too stressed by the actions of the intelligence department. This made him even more certain. This ring is Captain Jang's territory. Meanwhile, team leader Jang forced Kon-do to use a lot of sweetener to disguise the crime scene. They wanted to create a scene where they overdosed on sweets, fell into hallucinations, and then committed a crime against their mother. After that, the culprit became diabetic and died. Thus, Team Leader Zhang can completely wash away his responsibility. But the thug refused, so Team Leader Zhang had to stuff sweetener into the mouths of the two explosives. As soon as Team Leader Zhang finished processing the scene and prepared to report the crime, the deputy team reported that the casino had been inspected by the intelligence department. Team Leader Zhang became angry. He immediately realized he couldn't stay here for long. At that moment he heard a noise. He went out to check. He discovered that Captain Choi had arrived. He wished to run away. He fled to the underground secret room. When Captain Choi arrived, he only saw the deputy captain. Team Leader Zhang went down to the processing factory. He retreated and immediately fled. At the same time, the deputy captain recognized himself as the leader, and he accused these soldiers of attacking him. But Captain Choi quickly realized he was lying, because he saw the illegal casino surveillance system. Captain Choi had to request increased aid and proceed to collect all evidence. Through the secret tunnel, Team Leader Zhang and his subordinates in charge of producing sweeteners ran straight to the suburbs. But he understood very clearly that once the National Intelligence Agency took action, it could no longer be easily hidden. So he immediately called his subordinates to ask about the situation. Even though the subordinates said he had turned off the camera, it was of no use. He asked his subordinates to confess and take the blame for him. After the subordinates listen, they will take action. Over the years, he followed him and did so many dirty things. In the end, he was pushed out as a sacrifice. Captain Zhang then turned to question the insider in the intelligence department. He asked why he didn't report the news sooner. The insider explained that he didn't expect Su Haiyan to know about it. The next day, Su Haiyan continued to recount the next events. 3 months ago, Jiri came to find her. He took out a fake note from Su Haiyan. He marveled at how she could fake Hong Kong dollars. He then offered to help Su Haiyan fulfill her father's broken dream. Did he know that he had about $15 million from 5 years ago? This amount of money could compensate Su Haiyan. But this time technology has taken over. The world is gradually moving away from cash, and counterfeit money will sooner or later become a thing of the past. Currently, he has a virtual currency system and he wants her to participate once. Actually, after he left, Su Haiyan took out the necklace he gave her, probably because she still had feelings for Jiri. She decided to agree to cooperate. In fact, Jiri also saw Zhang Ziyon's abilities when he knew she could hack into cryptocurrency. He immediately made a new plan. The next day, Su Haiyan brought his sister to meet Jiri. At this time, Jiri began to reveal his plan, because current paper money is authenticated by Siri numbers. If you want to get a real Siri number, you must break into the server of the Korean Mint. Zhang Ziyan can do that. Jiri plans to print 1 million bills of 50,000 denominations. But to make super fake money, they still lack one important thing, which is a concave printer. This machine is in the hands of a woman. The man holding the last piece is a legendary figure. She is known in the industry as her late wife Kang Sunny. After asking questions, the group finally found her in an old printing factory. Kang Sunny is famous for being hot-tempered and wary. Only when she confirmed the identities of Jay and Fixer did she take them to see her secret weapon. This concave printer neck is a masterpiece that Kang Sunny has devoted all his heart to creating. It is also the heart of counterfeit money production. When all conditions are met, the process of making fake money officially began. Su Haiyan showed off his natural talent. She draws perfect money models down to every detail, from pattern lines to layout. All are copied exactly like real money. Zhang Xion was in charge of hacking into the server of the Korea Mint to get the real serial number. And Kang Suni started the printer that she was always proud of. Each counterfeit bill, as delicate as a work of art, was continuously created. 500 billion in counterfeit money quickly filled the entire warehouse. The plan was successful. Everyone raised their glasses to celebrate as originally planned. At the congratulatory party, Su Haiyuan took advantage of the service staff to sneak a small portion of counterfeit money into the market. She then went to an anonymous phone booth to complain to the National Intelligence Service, but she underestimated the wire's intelligence. He quickly discovered her actions. Returning to the present time, Su Huiyuan admitted that her original plan was perfect. This plan could quietly lead the police to Jiri, but after being discovered, she and Zhang Ziyon were detained. However, Captain Choi quickly realized that the fake money was absolutely complete. Su Huiyuan stood up, took a deep breath, and continued. After that incident, Jiri changed his plan. He planned to print 9 million more fake bills, plus the original 50 billion, for a total of up to 500 billion. This number is enough to seriously devalue the currency, causing inflation and collapsing people's confidence. Right now, the entire National Intelligence Agency cannot sit still any longer. 2 days before Su Haiyan confessed, Jiri suddenly transferred Zhang Xian to another place. Han just released her. At that time, she still did not understand why Jiri let her go, nor did she know what Han was planning. Immediately after Su Haiyan's story, Team Leader Choi was extremely angry that the remaining 500 billion counterfeit money was about to enter the market. This will deal a devastating blow to the entire national financial system. He promised Su Haiyan that as long as she provided more clues to catch Jiri, all her and Zhang Xian's criminal records would be erased. Hearing this suggestion, Su Haiyan was very hesitant. That year, Jiri went to Zhang Xian. He revealed that Su Haiyan had been arrested by the intelligence department for denouncing. He also intentionally separated the two sisters. He confirmed that Su Haiyan would once again be abandoned and have to bear the blame like 5 years ago. Jiri also told Zhang Xian that Captain Zhang had huge political power behind him. Only when they could take advantage of that power could they fully retreat. He planned to divide the 500 billion fake money in half, using half to bribe the nobles in exchange for a new identity and absolute protection for himself and his comrades. To do that, Jiri needs Zhang Xian's divination technique. Facing Jiri's enchantment again, Zhang Xian fell into confusion. She didn't know whether to trust the man who had betrayed her sister, or the little girl closed her eyes as her sister was pushed into a corner one more time. Meanwhile, those who back Captain Zhang are in trouble because the underground arena has been destroyed. The interest group, including the chairman of Tetkian Bank, the director of the Procuracy and this National Assembly member, has been severely affected in terms of cash flow. Because of Captain Zhang's impulsive actions, they even had the intention of eliminating him. At that moment, Team Leader Zhang came to Gakhayan, the bank president and also the leader of the group. He drafted a plan to print immortals. He affirmed that this was a perfect deal, no need for a secret factory, no need for crooked heads, just a few clicks to earn 3,000 billion. Force Hayu was immediately fascinated by this plan. Jiri was standing from the rooftop watching Team Leader Zhang, while Team Leader Choi was still having a headache guessing Jiri's next move. While Jiri once again sought out Team Leader Zhang, the first question he asked was how the project was progressing. The bait was in the trap. Jiri took him to see the proposal by video. At the same time, in the main lobby of the bank, a group of workers are working around the clock, with the aim of building a basement to produce counterfeit money. Because she wanted to cure her father's illness, the little girl stood in the snow and closed her eyes to pray. The little girl prayed to the fairy to turn the snowflakes into money. But when I opened my eyes, no money appeared. The little girl sat down on the ground in disappointment. Tears were about to fall when a boy appeared. Before that, he witnessed all her actions. He said that money doesn't just fall from the sky. You have to work to eat. Back to the present. Jiri led Team Leader Zhang on a 7-kilometer walk to view the proposal by video. Meanwhile, the police officer is still interrogating Su Haiyan. He reminded her that she was just like victim Joe 6. Because she knows so much, she is Jiri's next target. He was wondering why she didn't know anything about the practice of using fake money to inform subordinates. They had a new strong case. A Ren bullet was discovered in the victim's body. The police officer immediately recognized that this bullet was identical to the bullet that killed Zosit, proving that these two cases were from the same perpetrator. At the same time, the rope led Captain Zhang almost to the end of the stream. Captain Zhang still couldn't see the plan, which made him extremely angry. At this point, the main problem begins. He said that in 1960, because they wanted to reduce traffic, the government built an overhead bridge. But in reality, the government built a secret wallet tunnel 30 meters deep underground, which was used for emergency evacuation of senior leaders when war broke out. Therefore, just go down Thirdam underground, walk another Savenkm and then go up Thirdam to reach the tunnel. The other end of the tunnel is the main owner of KC Bank, which is where they meet and is also their upcoming target. It is expected that 2 weeks later, KC Bank will change ownership. Then there will be 3 money transfers totaling up to 2.25 trillion troops. Jiri's goal is that during the first transport and next Wednesday, he will secretly attack you with 5 trillion soldiers without letting anyone know. Captain Zhang was curious what he would get in exchange for Jiri and took out a counterfeit bill so sophisticated that it could fool even experts. Seeing that, Team Leader Zhang was completely convinced. However, what Team Leader Zhang is concerned about is how to transport money while the distance from the bank to the vault door is 30. You don't have to worry about this. Jiri hired a professional mining team to dig the tunnel here a month ago and was informed by the bustling, huge-scale construction scene right before his eyes. Team Leader Zhang was extremely excited. At this rate, others will soon have to call him by his noble name. Meanwhile, the police officer continued to interrogate Su Haiyan. The father asked her if Joseph was murdered by Jiri. Su Haiyuan did not know about this. It's true that Jiri previously brought 25 billion to meet Jo-sik, but then he returned empty-handed. About 5 days before she informed the intelligence department, she and Jiri met again and she helped him with a mission. At that time, Jiri and Jo-sik were trading sweeteners. Soo Hyun deliberately passed by and spilled water on him and asked him for help. The police were watching outside. She asked him to take a taxi to Jangtrungdong Gymnasium. Joseph also listened and got in that car. What surprised him was that the driver was Jiri. At this time, Jiri also presented his plan. He discovered that there was a factory that prepared sweeteners that were 97% pure. All processes are absolutely confidential. The available quantity is equivalent to 100 billion at market price. If Joseph retrieves all of those goods, he will receive 50 billion according to the agreement, and the goods taken will be divided in half. Joseph was completely convinced. He agreed to close this deal. That night, Joseph went to the tunnel to roll up the cargo. However, Jiri turned around and told Captain Zhang about Joseph stealing the sweetener. In anger, Captain Zhang stopped Joseph in the middle of the street. He stole the sweetener and brutally killed him. The police officer speculated that if Captain Zhang took Joseph's life, the person who put money in his mouth had orchestrated it all. That person can only be Jiri. Meanwhile, the police still accept the case at the casino. The base police were accused. An indifferent guy claimed to be the boss, but team leader Zhang was innocent. Colleagues reminded the police that it was not their job. What they were interested in was the super counterfeit money case. Knowing that, the police still did not feel comfortable ignoring this case. He then continued to interrogate Soo Hyun. This time she revealed that Jiri's team also has a female member. Jiri calls her Dr. Choi. She was the person Jiri installed on Captain Zhang's side when he asked the doctor to let him research a chemical. It is a corrosive oxidizing agent and a preparation for Plan B. Soo Hyun quickly drew her hand and took a photo of it in the room where she needed it later. Upon hearing that, the police officer immediately asked to bring her phone, but he still wondered why Jiri was researching corrosive chemicals on the other side. Jiri took team leader Zhang to see the pile of fake money and asked him to help him with something, which was to meet with Chairman Lai, convince him to use his power to replace the entire security company of KC Bank with the BNA company appointed by Jiri. Then Jiri will secretly put his people into BNA. Those were all bodyguards with criminal records who were bought with huge sums of money to break the security system from the inside on the day the money was transported. Captain Zhang also promised that according to the original plan, he would take half of the money, but now he is willing to let Chairman Lai choose 90% of the 500 billion. Han himself only needs 50 billion yuan for that huge benefit. President Lai did not teach anything but refused. However, Han was surprised that the doctor thought it was Jiri's fried scallop. She revealed to Jiri that team leader Zhang was working on himself to make aerosol bombs. The name of this bomb is Tilluen, an extremely powerful toxic gas. When inhaled, the lungs will melt in 10 seconds. After hearing this, Jiri immediately saw through all of Captain Zhang's plans. That's waiting until Jiri's team struggles to transfer real money into the tunnel. He will release poison gas to kill everyone and then single-handedly swallow 500 billion in real money. To deal with this guy, Jia asks the group to launch both plans A and B, and the main target is the Central Bank of Korea. Meanwhile, the police father reviewed the chemical drawing but still could not guess its true purpose. But when he mentioned the chemical that oxidizes and corrodes the fiber material, Soo Hwai-kis finally understood that the chemical was not aimed at metal but directly at paper money, because money was made from cotton fibers. However, the problem is why he did it when he was about to spend the money. The food shell was able to recover. The police officer quickly went to eat a hamburger. At that moment he saw the waste paper. He immediately realized that Jiri's goal was to destroy 500 billion in super fake money. He was disguised as waste money that needed to be destroyed, then asked the central bank to exchange the damaged money. When the bank destroys that waste money, it will be too late. The bank will directly hand them 500 billion in completely new real money. This golden meditation of escape immediately washed away all the super fake money, and moreover, it did not leave any intellectual traces. The police investigated and discovered that indeed, a savings bank had applied to exchange 500 billion in scrap money. The starting point was set for next Thursday. He did not immediately stop it but decided to do the same. He set up an ambush right at the central bank, waiting for the wire to crawl into the net. 5 days before the plan took place, he called team leader Zhang. He said that someone in his team was captured by the intelligence department, so he was forced to activate Plan B. He also dropped the action date to the last transport, which made team leader Zhang suspicious. He didn't know what was real and what was a trap. In the end, Captain Zhang had to follow Jiri's opinion, but he did not forget to warn that if Jiri was bad, he would catch all the cases of people being arrested by the intelligence department. Captain Zhang began to suspect that it was Su Haiyan and that she was involved with Jiri, so he called the spy and asked him to investigate the relationship between the two. Then Captain Zhang went to the police director and asked to let the deputy captain out. He gave the deputy a wad of real money as a pledge. He asked him to solve a small problem. As soon as the deputy leader heard it, he immediately agreed, and the time for action quickly arrived. The police officer directly disguised himself as a security guard of the Central Bank of Korea, and other members ambushed all positions in the bank. The deputy captain and his men guarded the tunnel entrance. When the police investigating through the surveillance system saw the damaged vehicle entering the elevator, he immediately ordered the arrest and stopped people right behind the elevator. But when he lifted the other person's hat, he felt it and discovered that it was not a rope. The police were extremely angry. One day before the plan was to take place, a team of thieves infiltrated the bank surveillance system and used a fake video to cover the entire process of invading the vault. Then, through 4 microscopic holes, the shoe determines the server location in the control room. Zhang Zion easily penetrated and successfully decrypted the server. She unlocked the large door of the vault. When the shoes forcefully opened the door, stacks of real money appeared before everyone's eyes. But this was just the beginning. In the next week, they have to use 500 billion in fake money to get this money at the central bank. After his father got mad because he arrested the wrong person, he suddenly thought of something. He ran back to the front desk to review the newspaper. He discovered that KC Bank had just completed a historic coordination, and at that moment the police officer realized he had been deceived. At the same time, in the security room of KC Bank, a barista approached. He offered the team leader a drink. He is Jun Ji-yu. Jun Ji-yu was the person who was previously captured by Jiri. After taking him to the underground clinic, Jiri and the doctor used specialized equipment. They successfully copied Jun Gu's retinal data. From there, they can bypass the authentication system using the password. After the cornea transplant, the whole team began to take action. Zhang Zian again penetrated the surveillance camera system. She continued to decode the password, thanks to which she easily entered the inner path. At the same time, the police officer realized that he was his successor. He hurriedly drove straight to KC Bank, while the team worked to exchange fake money. As for the real money, it was transported through the basement here. The deputy captain stood by the tunnel and waited forever. He couldn't see anything. He suspected Jiri had lost that money too, so he gathered a large group of his juniors and went down to the basement to check. At that time, the police father also called Jun Ji-yu, who asked him to temporarily stop coordinating the money. Looking at the blank image on the surveillance screen, Jun Ji-yu realized something was unusual. He led people to the place to check. Just as they were about to arrive at the vault, Jiri's group had just finished exchanging porridge. They prepared to retreat. As soon as the group reached the door, they all hid in the waiting room. But one guy was still discovered by Jun Ji-yu. He asked him what he was doing. He explained that he was guarding the gate for his colleagues. He said his colleague was going to take care of personal needs, but this reason could not escape Jun Ji-yu. He raised his hand to open the door to check, but at that moment the wire deliberately made a loud noise. He wanted to attract attention. Jun Ji-yu and others immediately ran to check, explaining that they were transportation staff. He successfully bypassed the security team. When leaving the bank, he accidentally passed his father's police officer. At this time he asked the security staff. He learned that the bank transferred money to Gangnam Station. They brought 750 billion in cash. At that time, Fixer and Kang Soon-hee were leading the engineers, who transferred the real money they had just collected out through the tunnel. Jiri asked Kang Soon-hee to start climbing immediately when he arrived at the base, and Zhang Zian was currently hacking into the traffic monitoring system, while his father police was entering the vault. He checked again but did not find anything unusual, so he had to let the bus return and leave on time. While Zhang Zian locked the entire camera system, Jiri ordered Kang Soon-hee to start climbing to the ground before his father's police team left, which was also when the fake money was transported. He called Cup below to ask about Soo Hyun's situation. He announced that he would interrogate her later. Meanwhile, the deputy team led his juniors into the basement to find Jiri, but he didn't know how to look at the map, so he went the wrong way. At this time, Zhang Zian successfully penetrated the camera system. However, at that time, the deputy captain and his juniors began to activate the poison gas, just as Fixer was about to approach their position. A junior suddenly threw out a lighter. The deputy captain thought the opponent had been completely destroyed, but he didn't expect they were also wearing gas masks. Meanwhile, Zhang Zian controlled the traffic light system. She did this to facilitate the transportation of money. Kansuni followed the underground sewer and crawled to the surface. After finding the car she had hidden, she immediately got into the car that had been prepared in advance. She quietly took away a USB. In the basement, a fight broke out between the vice captain and the fixer. The two sides fought without regret, and the fixer was also brutally beaten by the vice captain. At this time, the Seoul Control Center was discovered to be infiltrated. The wire quickly urged King Sunny to act quickly. In the bunker, the deputy captain and his juniors quickly defeated all of the wire's henchmen. King Sunny also opened the cabinet and took away the USB. After finishing, she immediately drifted back to the sewer, but then a truck rushed towards her. Thinking he was about to leave the scene, the rope rushed forward. He pushed the other car aside, got out of the car, and ordered King Sunny to hide. As for me, I went to apologize to the driver. He withdrew some money early and put it in the driver's hand. Having the money, the driver happily let me go. In the tunnel, after killing all of Jiri's henchmen, the fixer saw that the situation was not good and quickly turned and ran away. As for the real money, it was very difficult to get it. They fell into the hands of team leader Jang, seeing that the whole car was full of money. He was so happy that he turned on music to celebrate. Jang Zion, after learning that 500 billion troops had been lost, she was extremely angry. Initially, she joined this mission just to save Suhyun. Now the money was gone. What do you use to save people? But Thick calmly looked at the USB in his hand. He revealed that what was contained in it was an important card. It was used to control the director of the central bank. And now was the time to bring its effect into play. Then he told Fixer to print out a shipping slip. The voucher can help freely enter and exit container ports. Hearing that, everyone immediately placed all their hopes on that USB. The head of the security department of KC Bank discovered the incident, and the identity of the state chairman of Min Chung Group was broken. He immediately reported the news to the police. As soon as his father received the news, he quickly went to the state president to investigate. He mentioned that all the real money during transportation had been turned into counterfeit money by his nephew, and he suspected that the theft of the state chairman's dot was related to this. He said he would watch closely. Before leaving, he deliberately mentioned team leader Jang. He silently observed the other person's reaction. The state chairman appeared calm, but his avoiding eyes betrayed him. The police officer knew that he had grasped the weak point of the traitor. At this time, Captain Jang was still leisurely sitting and admiring the soul. After thinking about his life for a while, Han decided to swallow this money. Director O has investigated the list of Elsa's association. He called Deputy Director Ma to brag. He boasted that he had just received a list of Elsa Society members and their whereabouts. The documents include money laundering, which is extremely important and affects the whole country. That evening, the general managers held a meeting. They discussed the pros and cons after a brief conversation. The state chairman suspected that Captain Jang had already spent 500 billion. He even touched his iron bond to get his money back. General Choi decided to help. He said that whatever the outcome would be, the state chairman would be responsible. Meanwhile, the police found the hole left by the gang. He went inside and found all the evidence related to it. At the same time, a high-ranking official came to the inspector, who asked him to open a press conference to publicly investigate gambling. When the inspector heard the song, he was extremely surprised, because the case had already been settled satisfactorily. But his superiors warned him to obediently obey, otherwise he would lose his job, and the police received an order. He was asked to stop investigating the counterfeit money case. This made him extremely angry. He thought he just needed to recover that money. You prove it's a fake, then you'll have a chance to arrest the state president for questioning. He was extremely angry when the TV news broke out. A senior officer held a public press conference and announced that he would investigate team leader Jang. He investigated on charges related to the casino case. After hearing this news, the police investigator immediately recognized it. His subordinates already knew about this incident, so he followed and asked Jang, but he only advised the police to deal with Suhyun quickly. After that, he should change jobs, because when he discovered that they were involved in this matter, he went to the director to threaten him. That's why the director removed him to cover up this case, while team leader Jang was still leisurely eating instant noodles. He hadn't finished eating yet when a policeman came. This guy, Loi Jia Kong number 8, he wants to capture team leader Jang so he can get promoted. Captain Jang didn't say much. He showed off how much money he had sitting idle went into his pocket. Seeing the money, the policeman quickly bowed his head. He blamed himself for being unmarried, but team leader Jang did not care. He directly pulled out a deposit of money for the policeman. He asked this guy to offer to create this money. He wanted to disperse the money to China. At that moment, Dr. Choi came and she asked to join, because she was also tired of being a salaryman. This card was also strong, so team leader Zhang lit a cigarette. He invited Dr. Choi. He took it as an agreement, but in fact, she is the spy that Zay planted. Before that, the police came to Su Hyan. He invited her to cooperate with him to capture Zay and put him in prison. But when the investigation failed miserably, he was temporarily suspended. The police officer found Su Hyan again to vent his anger. He blamed her for making speculations. She made him go to the central bank to work in vain. In short, he placed all of his responsibilities on Su Hyan. He believes that it was she who caused the case to fall into a dead end. Please feel resentful. Su Hyan angrily left. In Jieri's area, Zhang Xian quickly detected the positioning signal from Dr. Choi. When she was secretly telling Jieri the news, she accidentally dropped the phone and noticed something unusual through her eyes and actions. Captain Zhang immediately approached. He grabbed the phone and turned it off. At the same time, the department heads met to discuss the death of the ELSA organization. A general proposed to use his father's police to eliminate Captain Zhang and Su Hyan after being released. Vo treated herself to a delicious meal. As soon as she finished eating, her father's police driver came to pick her up. Before that, the two had argued a bit, but when they sat in the car together, they reviewed their memories together. They recalled their previous collaborations, and it turned out that the time Su Hyan did business with shoes and even releasing a container to take her life was all part of their plan. At this moment, the police officer received a strange call. It made him immediately change direction. He dragged Su Hyan along. Meanwhile, team leader Zhang is having a meeting with the whole group. They discussed plans to transfer huge amounts of money abroad. When hearing from his subordinates that Jieri Road had been cleared, team leader Zhang was overjoyed. He considered the plan to disperse the money almost complete. However, he began to be wary of Dr. Choi. He asked her to leave and then discussed it with the deputy captain. Tomorrow they will transfer money by water. Before 8 a.m. tomorrow, that 500 billion must arrive at the tourist wharf on Gongan Island. At the same time, the police officer discovered something. His subordinate was frying scallops for Captain Zhang. He ordered his arrest. Meanwhile, Su Hyan returned to Jieri's headquarters. She saw Jieri still calm as if nothing had ever happened. While she accidentally revealed many of his plans for the intelligence mission, this made Su Hyan feel even more guilty. Just when she was not understanding what this guy was thinking, Jieri spoke up. He invited her out to eat and drink to review old memories. By the way, Su Hyan asked the reason. She asked why Jieri said she completed the task very well. At this time, Jieri began to carefully explain to her that he was a cat in the underworld. Jieri understood everything. He knew about Su Hyan's cooperation with the police for a long time. Not only that, he also took advantage of that betrayal to turn the situation around, turning himself into the master of the game. During the action, Jieri always observed Su Hyan. He even deliberately revealed loopholes. He took advantage of her. He made Su Hyan believe that a plan B existed from there through Su Hyan. He disrupted the police investigation. Now Jieri publicly declares that he will continue to take advantage of Su Hyan. He forced the police to investigate the actions of arresting team leader Zhang. The purpose is to take back the 500 billion troops that were stolen by him. Just as he predicted, Su Hyan agreed to continue to cooperate. Jieri reminds Su Hyan that this is a complicated world, where fake can turn into real. Real can also turn fake, and they need to take advantage of that to achieve their goals according to the plan. The director called the police officer in. He ordered him to continue investigating the counterfeit money case. He demanded that Captain Zhang be captured at all costs. The police officer said that the person holding the USB was Jieri, not Captain Zhang. He just took 500 billion and ran away. Hearing that, the director was a bit surprised, but it doesn't matter who holds the USB now. He just wants to capture both of them. Meanwhile, Dr. Choi secretly met Jieri. She recounted how team leader Zhang snatched her phone, but then he let it go, and she suspected that he was up to something. However, Jieri only paid attention to the glasses she wore. They've known each other for 5 years, but he's never seen her take it off. In fact, all of Dr. Choi's actions were seen through by Captain Zhang. In fact, the information that Captain Zhang revealed to Choi was all fake news. He made the prophet believe that he would transport the money by sea, while the real plan was to go by road. He aimed to lead Jieri in the wrong direction. At the same time, Su Hyan secretly contacted police father. After listening to Jieri explain what happened yesterday, Su Hyun suddenly realized something. Maybe she needs to look at Jiri from a different perspective. Instead of just seeing Jiri as a skilled fire digger, Su Hyun began to see him as an expert in psychology. He is a person with the ability to manipulate people's hearts. According to Su Hyun's analysis, from the beginning Jang understood their psychology very well. From her mentality of wanting revenge, and her father's police rush to arrest people, Captain Jang's greed. He deeply understands each person's needs and weaknesses. He turns them all into pawns in his chess game. And perhaps his real purpose was never just 500 billion won, but it was the state president's USB, which certainly contained secrets that needed to be exposed. However, that is just Su Hyun's speculation. No one knows the truth yet. Tomorrow Captain Jang would take action, so that night Jiri's team began discussing plans to stop Captain Jang. At the same time, the deputy team leader packed all 500 billion soldiers. He put the money in boxes like ocean containers and loaded them into the car. As for Jiri, he disguised himself as a foreigner. His police father also prepared a gun. He was determined to capture both Captain Jang and Jiri in one action. On Su Hyun's side, with the help of her sister, she managed to hide in the back of Jiri's car. The next morning, the forces appeared one after another at the port, pretending to be taxi drivers, and Su Hyun hid in the trunk of the car to secretly report the news. At this time, my father and his teammates were already ambushing me at the harbor. They waited for Captain Jang. However, yesterday, Team Leader Jang interrogated Dr. Choi. He forced her to reveal her disguised identity. Therefore, he quickly recognized the wire. At the same time Su Hyun contacted the police, she informed him of her disguised identity. He ordered his teammates to take action. At this time, Team Leader Jang also asked his subordinates to drive. The car drove straight towards the wire, but at that opportunity the policeman pulled out his gun and he immediately aimed to shoot the wire. Hearing the gunshot, Captain Jang got out of the car. The police officer pointed his gun at him and was caught in a dead end. Captain Jang held Su Hyun hostage. He drove away, knowing Su Hyun was taken away. Wire, who had already escaped, immediately turned around. He watched every move of Captain Jang through the camera system. The camera was hidden in Dr. Choi's glasses, which was a secret he accidentally discovered the day before. Using Su Hyun as a hostage, Captain Jang reached a safe place, where he told the truth about 5 years ago. It turned out that the warehouse explosion that killed Uncle Su Hyun was caused entirely by Captain Jang. Jiri had never participated in that plan. That night Jiri was the first person to discover that Team Leader Jang had entered the warehouse to rob money. He fought with his subordinates, but he alone could not fight many people. Jiri had to watch helplessly as Captain Jang took the money away. Then the new warehouse exploded. Worrying about Su Hyun, Jiri returned to the scene to search, but he only found Master Jang, who unfortunately passed away due to the effects of the explosion. Because he was eager to pursue Captain Jang, Jiri let go of Su Hyun's hand. When he ran to the port opposite the warehouse, Captain Jang had disappeared without concealment. Looking at the warehouse still exploding, Jiri asked to help Su Hyun take revenge, now with Captain Jang. Su Hyun is the most important card. He knew clearly what Su Hyun meant to the rope. Wire is inherently an extremely rational and cold person, but as long as it involves Su Hyun, he will lose control. Therefore, Captain Jang decided to use Su Hyun as a hostage to lure him out. After taking care of the customs bribery, Team Leader Jang was extremely pleased. Now he has Su Hyun, the country's leading counterfeit money expert. He just got Dr. Choi, the best pharmaceutical expert. As long as there are two people, even if he escapes abroad, he won't worry about running out of money. At that moment, a taxi rushed forward, appeared and asked Captain Jang to release Su Hyun. Captain Jang did not agree. He ordered his subordinates to borrow rope. The number was too large. The rope could not fight against them, so they were injured. Witnessing that scene, Su Hyun was extremely panicked. She faintly tried to threaten Captain Jang, but he brutally pushed her aside. He continued to beat the rope mercilessly. At this moment, the police officer appeared. Without hesitation, he shot the rope once, was seriously injured, and was asked to surrender along with Captain Jang. But Captain Jang still risked his life to fight against the old man. He used a knife a second time to hold Su Hyun hostage. While Jang was fighting, Su Hyun saw her hand gestures. She remembered that before there was someone who did the exact same thing. That moment she finally realized his true identity. He was the man who encouraged her to try to live on. To save Su Hyun, Jiri grabbed a policeman's gun. Han confronts Captain Jang head-on. Han said that Captain Jang could take all 500 billion troops away. Han just needs to release Su Hyun. Everything can be given away. In a situation between three factions, team leader Zhang tried to take the opportunity to escape. The police officer tried to chase after him but was stopped by Jiri. Jiri protected Su Hyan behind his back. Han carefully protected her and avoided the police pursuit. Han successfully escaped. On the way, Su Hyan checked Jiri's wound. Jiri also removed the camouflage layer. He tried to restore his original gentleness in front of Su Hyan. In fact, the two have known each other many years ago. They used to be neighbors. They are childhood friends who grew up together. Su Hyan asked if Jiri would disappear again after today. Jiri told her not to say stupid things. He will definitely come back. Having said that, Jiri intended to kiss Su Hyan, but the police father chased after him at the wrong time. Su Hyan explained to the police father about the warehouse explosion 5 years ago. Ji also gave the important USB to the police after getting the key USB. The police officer decided that the situation was settled, and he did not continue to arrest the suspect anymore. Looking at his eyes towards her, Su Hyan understood that he was about to leave again, but she didn't know how long he would be gone this time. Ji gently said that perhaps only when she leaves can Su Hyan live happily. After a short goodbye, Zay left under the sun on the bridge. He then disappeared from Su Hyun's life. Su Hyan was extremely sad. She remembered the scene of breaking up with teenager Zay in the past. She remembered his dream of becoming the best fire digger, because only then can he turn a false life into reality. At this moment, the investigating police received information about Captain Zhang's location. Before leaving, Zay left a move. He soon guessed that Captain Zhang would switch to transport by road, so he had Kang Soon-hee and fixer Len hide in the cargo truck in advance. Thanks to their timely information, the police officer was able to determine Captain Zhang's location, and he sent someone to arrest him. After the villain left the net, his police father resigned from the National Intelligence Service, and he contacted the media. He wants to expose the descendants of the nobility stored on the USB when things gradually calm down. Su Hyan and her sister went to visit the master's grave. At this time, she still felt uneasy about Jiri's words before leaving. At that time, Jiri once said that the real becomes fake, the fake becomes real. Su Hyan always felt that there was something wrong with Jiri's expression when he said that sentence. With suspicion, Su Hyan contacted the police. She advised him to check the confiscated 500 billion troops. Sure enough, the inspection results confirmed one thing. The 500 billion soldiers obtained from Captain Zhang were all fake money. Not long after, Jiri appeared with a different identity to go to the prison to visit Captain Zhang. Thanks to the support of the nobles, Captain Zhang was only sentenced to 3 years in prison. He was still proud at this time. Jiri reminded him that in reality he would have to go to prison for at least 20 years, because the real and fake money had been exchanged twice as planned. This plan was arranged by Jiri from the beginning. Jiri's purpose is still just to help Su Hyan take revenge on Captain Zhang. He wants to make him suffer a serious crime for circulating fake money. In the days that followed, she quietly watched Su Hyan from afar, from beginning to end. What he wanted was only Su Hyan's smile. However, the story is not really over. Former Captain Zhang was sentenced to 25 years in prison and was about to be escorted to prison. On the prison transfer bus, he secretly used a hidden knife to cut the wire, and the hidden battle still seemed to continue. The movie ends with many thoughts for viewers. What do you think about the guy's ultimate plan and the silent sacrifice of this guy? Please leave a comment below to let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe to FC Review channel so you don't miss the next extremely exciting movies. Hello and see you again.